When moving to Cincinnati, you have a really big decision to make. East side or west side? In today's video, we're gonna break down all the details so we can find the perfect fit for you.
That's right, Mike. Each side has its own vibe, and today we're gonna break it all down so you can decide if the east side or the west side is right for you.
And just a little bit about us. So I'm an East Sider through and through, born and raised.
And I grew up on the west side and currently reside on the east side.
So with this video, you're gonna get the inside scoop of both sides of the city and figure out what's best for you. But first, we actually gotta rewind a little bit and decide, where does the east side and the west side actually break down?
That's right, Mike. We are right now on Vine Street, which people have said is the dividing line between east and west. But growing up, I always thought it was I-75. So there's a little bit of debate. We'd love to hear in the comments below what you think divides the east side and the west side. But since we can't stand in the middle of I-75,
Yeah, this is a safe spot.
we're gonna hang out here on Vine Street.
So how about we dive on in? I'm gonna take you to the east side, Scott's gonna take you to the west side. Let's go have some fun. So welcome to the east side of Cincinnati. We are here in Hyde Park Square, the heart of Hyde Park, and really the heart of the east side of Cincinnati. So we're gonna show you all the reasons why the east side is one of the greatest sides. Of course, I'm a little biased being here from the east side of Cincinnati, but we're gonna dive into what makes the east side so special. We're gonna sit down, dive into it all. Let's get started. So we're about 10 minutes from where Scott and I just were, in the heart of Over the Rhine on Vine Street, which may or may not be the actual dividing line between the east and the west side. So we have I-71 that pretty much cuts down the middle of the east side of Cincinnati. You can also go out 275, but really when you look at the east side, it's all very convenient and easy to get to. Highways and interstates connect the different areas together, makes it much more convenient than maybe some areas in the west side that can be two-lane roads that are just going off to an area. Again, different strokes for different folks. So you may love interstates and love being places in 5, 8, 10 minutes. That's like me, I love being places quick. I'm not a huge car guy, got an electric car, can't go too far, so I gotta make sure I stay close by. But as you look at the east side of Cincinnati is dominated by those interstates and highways to stay connected to it all. So what makes the east side so special? Well, it's hard not to start with so many different things to do here on the east side of Cincinnati. So I sit here in Hyde Park Square, where literally as a stone throw, I can go to so many great places. You have Graders, where you can get one of the best scoops of ice creams in the entire city. You can go just down the road to Coffee Emporium, one of the longest running coffee shops here in the city of Cincinnati, and where it's packed every single weekday morning, just a popular spot amongst East Siders. Of course, we have so many great coffee shops. We just had Deeper Roots open up in Montgomery. As far as restaurants goes, you have a couple of my favorites. Of course, we got some bad news about Red Feather closing down, but there's many more like Parkside and Delwood and Arthur's and Echo. Tons and tons of staples. Then we dive into shopping. So many great shops. Here I'm close to Alligator Purse, which is a place my wife loves to shop. You have some Castle House, which is a kid shop here in Hyde Park Square. From luxury shopping to some of the tried and true Cincinnati favorites, they are all located and housed in Kenwood Town Center, and it's really a popular spot. There's so many great outdoor parks. So you have Alt Park. That's just a stone's throw, maybe a little bit further away, just down the road about a mile. That's a fantastic park, perched on the top of Mount Lookout, overlooking all of the east side of Cincinnati. It's a great location right over there. And of course, another one is Grand Valley, which is over in Indian Hill. It's another special spot over there. There's just so many outdoor retreats that you have on the east side because it's a vast swath of property that there's just so many great opportunities. And a bonus, which is one of my favorites, is actually the Cincinnati Nature Center, which is just outside of Milford off of 275. It is a great scenic park, miles and miles of trails. You can run, take the family, do all sorts of things. But that's just one of many things to do and ways to enjoy the outside and the arts and so much more. Then you have the art museums. You have Cincinnati Art Museum, Playhouse in the Park in Mount Adams. You have a lot around the arts. The Cincinnati Ballet, who just built a brand new building right off of Interstate 71. When it comes to the arts and just some relaxing things to do, whether it's a hike, just enjoy a scenic overlook, East Side really has all of that to cater to your lifestyle, so you don't have to be shortchanged. Now let's dive into the school districts. The East Side tends to dominate some of the higher rated school districts. That includes Walnut Hills. You have Madeira, Indian Hill. Those are just 3 of top 5 school districts here in the city of Cincinnati, and really the Cincinnati Metro as you look at the whole area. Another huge facet of the east side of Cincinnati is real estate. Of course, we're real estate agents, and this is what we do day in and day out. But all along the I-71 corridor, or even if you go over to 275 into areas like Anderson, Indian Hill, Madeira, there tends to be quite a few luxury homes. And what is luxury home? That can be any home priced $1 million and up. Of course, there's a wide variety of price points on the east side. It's not all $1 million houses. There can be homes in the $170,000 range and all the way up into the $6-7 million range. I believe one of which sold for $4.5 million just recently in Indian Hill. So as you're looking at that, there's a wide variety of homes that have sold over here. We've actually been fortunate enough as our team, Oyler Hines, to sell 142 homes this year on the east side of Cincinnati. Been really fortunate enough to help so many great clients, and these are just a few of the reasons why they love to move. So I've bragged a little bit on the east side. Of course, I grew up here my entire life. For almost all of my 40 years on this earth, I've lived here on the east side of Cincinnati. But why don't we hand it over to Scott, who grew up on the west side, so he can give you his thoughts on the west side and what makes the west side so great.
Well, right now we are on the west side of Cincinnati, where community and tradition come together to create a place that just feels like home. We are just right outside the Incline Public House, located in the Incline district of Price Hill, with this beautiful backdrop of downtown Cincinnati. The views here are absolutely stunning. The west side provides a blend of rich history, culture, and community pride. And when it comes to food, you can't beat the local flavors. Actually, La Rosa's, the pizza giant in Cincinnati, was founded on the west side of Cincinnati, right on Boudinot Avenue. And Skyline, that popular cheese coney, their first location was right here in Price Hill. And speaking of Price Hill, I have to mention one of my favorites growing up, and that's Price Hill Chili. It's a great spot. You'll see families there gathering after church or after a big game. It's also a popular spot for politicians around the country to hit if they're out on the campaign trail. And you can't mention the west side without mentioning some of my favorite creamy whips growing up, and that goes all the way back to Zip Dip, Putz's, and General Custards. Do you love the outdoors? Well, the west side is home to Mount Airy Forest, one of the largest urban parks in the country, which provides riding, hiking, and plenty of space to explore. If you're a family-oriented person, the west side really shines. That's because community pride is at the heart of the west side. Whether it's cheering on your team at a Friday night football game or taking in one of the many church festivals that are every weekend in the summer, the west side has something to do to bring everyone together. And speaking of football, taking in a game Friday night at the Pit, home of the Elder Panthers, is an experience all in itself. In fact, it's rated as one of the top places to see a high school football game in the country. The 10,000 seat stadium, all the way to people lining up early to tailgate. It's just a tradition that's been passed around from generation to generation. Are you looking for a place to call home? When it comes to real estate, your dollar's gonna push much further on the west side. Areas like Westwood, Price Hill, Cheviot, and Covedale are very affordable options with median home values right around $175,000. And if you go a little further west, we enter into Delhi Township, Bridgetown, and Green Township. Now, a lot of these homes were built in the 70s, and you can expect median home values to be around $240,000. If you're looking for something newer, say 1990s or so, you're gonna go much further west into North Bend in Miami Township. The median home values around there are gonna be $350,000. We're also seeing a lot of new development, especially as you go further west, even all the way into Harrison. There's a lot of new development happening there. In addition, there's a lot of these old business districts that are really being developed. So there's a lot of exciting stuff happening on the west side. Overall, the west side offers a variety of home options, from charming bungalows with historic charm all the way to newer developments. It's perfect for families, young professionals, and everyone in between. Life on the west side is all about connection, where neighbors become friends and every street feels like community. Come see for yourself why so many people are proud to call the west side home. Welcome to a place where the past meets the future and everyone belongs. So now that we've explored both the east side and the west side, what are the big takeaways?
So the east side is perfect if you're looking for that cosmopolitan vibe with some upscale amenities, great schools, maybe a little bit of a higher end lifestyle.
And on the west side, it's ideal if you're seeking more affordable living with that strong sense of community and pride.
There is so much to offer on both sides, east side and west side. So much charm, character. Really got to figure out what's right for you. Now keep in mind, these aren't perfect. These are just what we hear when we're just really having some fun back and forth on east side and west side. So we'd love to hear from you. What do you think about the east side and the west side? You gotta tell us down in the comments. Where were we right? Where were we wrong? What should we add?
So if you're considering moving to Cincinnati, we've got you covered. We've actually helped over 3,000 families buy or sell in the greater Cincinnati area, and we'd love to help you. You can always reach out to us by sending us an email at info@oylerhines.com or check us out at www.oylerhines.com.
And of course, if you don't mind, we'd love it if you'd like and subscribe so you can stay tuned for our future videos. We try to film videos and content just like this, so as you're moving to Cincinnati, you know what Cincinnati has to offer and why it's such a great place to live.
We'll see you on the next one.